Hi guys, welcome to Fierce and Pretty. Honey here. Today I'm doing a sequel for my Lost Seeker video that I made this summer. So why am I making this part 2 for a video that I never even thought that would get many views? Because it was just such a weird personal ramble. But it kind of surprised me how you guys reacted to it. And that's why, because of all the gratitude that I have towards all your thoughts in the comment box, all the VRs that I got and everything. So I thought that this might be a place for a sequel. So if you haven't seen the original video, I'm gonna link it down below in case this video might make more sense after watching that. But just a short recap. So I was talking this summer. I did a tarot spread at the cottage and I was feeling super lost. Kind of talking about the concept of being lost in your spiritual journey, kind of the dark night of the soul, or whatever you choose to call it, and going through the emotions and feelings I've been going through this summer. So I think first of all it was good that I acknowledged the uncomfortable feelings and that I was willing to kind of face them and sit down with them and try to process them as much as I could, no matter how uncomfortable it was and kind of still is sometimes. But at least in Finnish we have this saying, I think probably each of our language have one kind of similar, that you shouldn't be lying in the fire. And I'm normally more of a doing kind of person, but this time I did dwell in those emotions much longer than I normally would, and kind of that was learning for me also, to sit with the uncomfortable. But you can't do that for the rest of your life. It's just very unproductive. So I thought I'd share with you guys what I've been doing since then, trying to kind of not lay in the fire, trying to find some solutions. And these things, nothing major coming, just small daily practical little thingies that I thought I would share on how they have at least helped me to cope with these emotions a lot better. So if just even one person finds them useful, again, this video has made its point. So I guess let's just jump into it. So because the main issue is that I've been feeling lost, kind of the red string missing, feeling these nihilistic feelings, the ant-like feeling of the mundane life, just going to work and doing your work and coming home and doing all the routines and going to bed and doing the same, paying your taxes, and then just waiting to die, kind of. Tightly summarized it. So I thought that because I don't have any bigger solutions yet, I don't have anything kind of major that I've figured out, no matter how much I've thought on how to fix this, how to get myself out of the situation. So then I thought that if I can't do anything big, let's just try and do a bunch of small stuff. So I think some of this kind of came out organically, but some of it was kind of intended to correct the mood and trying to build up a daily practice to give myself something else to focus on than just the nihilistic thoughts of living the ant life in this society. So what I've been up to, and not daily. I haven't been able to do everything every day, of course. I'm not a robot. But things that have stayed on a very active weekly basis on my routine now since I made that video. I've started to go for runs in the morning. So I go jogging, but I always do the same route. And I always go it clockwise. I wanted it, because before when I went out for runs or walking, I kind of wanted some variety and did go to different places. But now I thought that, because I needed a new motivation for kind of doing sports, keeping my, condition, for also on the level of, good health. So doing some cardio, but trying to find a new angle to motivate me. So I wouldn't be doing that only to kind of lose weight or look better. So I decided to do my run each time, the same way, the same direction every time. Kind of make it as a meditative process. Most of the days I listen really good podcasts, but some of the times I haven't been able to concentrate as much as listening to podcasts. So then I've chosen music, and getting more music in my life has been also important here, because for the past 2 years I haven't listened much of music, and music has always been a big part of my life. So now I'm kind of easing my way back into giving space for music to affect in my moods, to uplift it. And I've been using music as part of the running rituals in the mornings. And some mornings it can happen that I only listen to one song on a repeat on that whole run. And when it works, it works. And then kind of I thought about including something easy that I could do daily. I actually made myself a soap, a body wash. Because my brother came and visited me this summer, and he bought this cheapest non-perfumed body wash at the supermarket, and left it here when he went back home. And I didn't want to be using that soap because it doesn't smell like anything. And then one day I got the idea that, well, maybe if I spice things up with my essential oils. So then when I would be in the shower and using that soap, it would kind of awaken me in that moment to be more present in the process of cleansing. So that's what I did, and I created myself an own kind of morning cleansing ritual with that silly soap. And by the way, when you're working with essential oils, do your research, know the products you're using. I'm not going to say more about that, but make sure you know what you do. Then that soap thing kind of created an idea that, because I had this also face cream, non-scented, like really basic. And I thought that, what about if I pimp that up also and create a face cream for myself for each morning and fill it with an intention. And I did. And I used the base of the face cream, non-scented face cream. Then I used a base oil and then essential oils, but very careful amount. And first tried it a bit, that I didn't get any allergic reactions and anything. So then I've been using that every morning. And when I'm putting on that face cream, again, I am more present. There is the intent there. And I am kind of not only just doing the morning routine of getting my makeup done like in a robotic way, but I stop. I am present, and I'm waking into that morning with intention with that face cream. And also one little thing that I really enjoy is jewelry. Well, you might guess. I have 3 necklaces, rings in all my fingers and whatever, but at my job I can't be wearing any rings, and mostly also my necklaces are covered underneath the clothes. So I actually bought these earrings, and you can put intent in your jewelry, and because these earrings I can't have and wear all the time. I need to take them out when I go for a run, because otherwise they jump and they clunk to my AirPods, and I end up breaking either the AirPods or the earrings. So I need to take them off and I need to put them back. So again, using that type of jewelry that I need to put in and put my intent in it. And I chose this. It's actually a very well-known Finnish brand called Kalevala jewelry, and this specific model is, well, it's a hard word to translate into English, but in Finnish it's called kuutar, and it's kind of like the moon, and then some sort of a feminine ending to that word. What could it be, like moonness or like a moon goddess, but there's not the word God in there. But maybe you get my maybe you catch my drift. So for me, because I love working with the moon a lot, that felt like the perfect piece of jewelry to use in my daily practice. Then I've been trying to utilize my altars, because I have one up here and my tarot addict, and one downstairs on top of John in the living room, and I've been trying to use them both kind of more of a daily way. Well, John is easy because it's located in the living room, and what I've been doing every day now since summer, I have been lighting candles. I've been, creating my own practice on offerings, like sometimes doing tea lights with essential oils as offerings, sometimes wine, fruit, herbs, flowers, whatever, but just building on the practice. And even though I don't do a lot of like deity work, but just building on with that practice with the offerings, and kind of like easing into the connections and having that fire, having that kind of more sacred environment in the daily life. At least for me, it's really nice thing to do on a otherwise totally ordinary Tuesday. And I've let that build into doing things. For example, I bought this air drying clay because some days I had hard time on focusing, and I thought that I needed something to do, but something easy that wouldn't be too hard. And I bought this air dry clay, and actually ended up making these little statues for myself, because I've been watching on different statues online, like in Etsy and wherever, and I didn't find the ones that kind of pleased me. So I thought that maybe I'll try and do myself, and actually they might be kind of silly, but I like them. But doing something, building something easy for my own spiritual practice, that kind of felt good. And that was a long process, because first you had to make the clay and everything and let it dry and do the designs and whatever. So doing things like that could be a good option for somebody who has the urge to create something and have the feeling of at least doing something, building something forward, giving something meaning. And on top of workings with my altar, I've included other little things into the daily practice that kind of just don't take that much time. And I first got the idea when I bought my anhydro crystal, and first I was thinking how I would be wanting to work with that stone. And then at some point I saw water bottles that have like, an amethyst wand or something inside it already. And I was like, I don't want that. But then I found this bottle that has a clear space in the middle, and it can hold the stone. So I did get myself a water bottle because I've always been good at drinking water. I find it odd that some people, don't drink enough water, but I do. I drink several liters a day. So for me, it's not about the amount, but I wanted to use the crystal water that I could, bless the water once a day and let it sit on the altar over the night, and just put more, gratitude also for the water. Because for us, it's just obvious that we have the water wherever we want, but it's not in all over the world. Water is, the single most important element after air. So I think working with the elements has been also kind of the way of getting these small things into my practice. And I'm not even trying to take all the credit for all the ideas. They are not, I don't know which one of them are like original ideas. For example, the idea of blessing the water and adding more, more movement, more exercise in my life. I was watching one of this YouTube course on working on the elements on the Witche's pyramid, like, to know, to will, to dare, to keep silent, and building on that pyramid with each of the elements, and kind of finding good things in that practice by Ariel Gatoga. His course, I will link it also down below. You could find interesting ideas in places like this to incorporate to your daily practice, to get more good habits with a good motivation. If you have issues like me, that you need kind of something to help you to, keep holding on to the string before you know where you're going. Just holding on tight until you figure out where you finally end up. And then there has been more consistency with my tarot practice. I've been mainly working with my Tarot de Marseille Piatnik. Maybe you've all seen this many times already, but I've been working with this deck, and on top of that anhydro crystal in my water bottle, I've been working with this little amethyst and kind of finding my way with the crystals, because I'm not a big crystal person, but having them as part of my daily routines kind of makes them more familiar. Then, as you might know, I've been doing a lot of gardening already from, I don't know, over a year, kind of building my witchy garden. Did that on the cottage, but now since we're back home most of the time, I've been building my home garden, using more herbs in my cooking, and while also building up the garden, studying and learning about from different sources and when to plant and when to do and how to incorporate more moon phases or different things into my gardening. And that also gives kind of more purpose to that garden thing than just having the final product, just collecting that herb, but learning, because there's so much to learn on, witchy gardening, that doing it bit by bit along days has been at least a way to work better for me than try to read one book and remember everything. It's too much for me to handle. So doing bits by bits, every here and there, has been working fine for me. And well, one thing that I also did, I bought just a standard, journal. Not a journal. I bought a daily planner that I haven't had actually on my practice, and I started to plan things ahead. So then, because nowadays people don't have the big things to wait for. You don't have, at least not the majority of us, don't have vacations coming, going abroad, doing these big elaborate things. Maybe hopefully soon again, but until that, at least having small goals waiting in the planner, like putting in when I'm gonna be planting these seeds, because I've been studying when would be the good time, and then I'm gonna do it. So so I expect that I will remember when to do these things when I have one place where I've marked all these things, when to do this. Because I'm not a big journaling person, so scribbling into that planner has actually worked for me quite well. It doesn't take a lot of time, it doesn't take a lot of effort, but still, when I'm looking now backwards in that planner, there are so many things there. So it's kind of like having a mini journal, and that seems to be working for me. And I have figured out at least few goals, in kind of goals that are part of my mundane life, and I've set some goals, and doing these small preparations before I can reach those goals, just trying to do step by step, like prepping for the future. Like, for example, I actually bought a tree. Well, it's a teeny tiny oak tree, but I bought it and I planted it in a jar, because one day I will have that garden where I will plant that oak. So until I can do the big things, I'm gonna keep on doing these small things, just to hold, just to grab the red string, just to have some sort of meaning in that internal, chaotic, kind of still hangman kind of energy that it has been. I don't know. And during this kind of process of slowly pulling myself out of the pit of fire, and part of that process also made me think about the energy of the eights in the tarot a lot. Like how many choices we kind of still always have, even though we feel that we are out of choices, and how it's so funny even with especially with the energy of the eights. Because if we think about Eight of Wands, how fast, how rapid, how kind of like you think about fast illusions. Think about that. Then you think about the Eight of Cups, the kind of sad feeling of walking away. Then you think about the Eight of Coins, and working and kind of perfecting your job, just doing something, trying to move forward. Or is it just repetitive? Who knows? And then there's the Eight of Swords, the kind of super stuck energy where you're tied down and you don't see your way out. And how all these different energies of the eight, they are all kind of the problems, they are all kind of the solutions, but still, even though you would feel that all the options are available all the time, but still for some reason you might not be able to do them. I don't know. Maybe sometimes I'm lacking courage to do these things. Sometimes I don't know what's the right thing to do. But on top of the Hangman energy, there has been a lot of this Eight of Swords energy present with this lost seeker phase that I'm living in, and I do see there the choice of the Eight of Cups, just walking away, but it doesn't feel right. Kind of hoping the Eight of Wands swooping in, correcting everything for me, but I think so far I chose the Eight of Coins, trying to do these baby steps in concrete life to take off as much of the uncomfortableness of my situation that I can. And once again, sorry that this was a long ramble, but I want to thank each and every one of you who, commented in the first video. There was so much that I got from you guys. I got, the feeling that I'm not alone. I was reading your comments while drinking my morning coffee and doing my towel, and it was a beautiful way to start the day. And thank you guys who made the VRs. Sorry if I'm missing anybody, but I know Anna at Astro Lady Tao did, James Feeney, Lennan Smith, Manuela at Place of Stillness, Candy at Soul and Soil. Well, at least those guys made amazing VRs to my initial video, and I really thank you guys. And all of those videos are also linked down below with the original video. I hope some of this made sense, but I just thought that I tried to give something, even teeny tiny solutions, maybe to somebody who is feeling as stuck as I still am some days. Some days, most of the days are better now. That's good. Most of the days are better, but still have those stuck days. So if any of this could help anyone, I would be so happy. And if you managed this far, I really thank you for your time. I appreciate it when I get to share these things with you guys. That's the reason for my channel, because for me, this is all about the interaction. I love, and I try to give as much as I can. Hopefully somebody is receiving something, but because I'm getting so much back from you guys, so thanks for that. Yeah. I don't look forward on editing. It's gotta be a nightmare to edit. Okay guys, until next time, bye.